love when Friedrich sings, it might be effective, my body's all right, but not in perspective and not in the light. I love that he rhymes Petra with etc. And I love perpetual anticipation is good for the soul, but it's bad for the heart.
My favorite lines are probably the ones that my grandmother, Madame Armfeldt, plays, because she has a lot of witty ones in there, so one of those are probably my favorite.
My favorite line in the show is when Frederick is introducing Anne to Desiree for the first time at the weekend in the country. And Desiree responds by introducing Frederica, saying, "And this is my daughter."
My favorite line in the opera is a piece of advice that I give to Anne, who is married to Frederick. Anne has been invited with her husband to go on a weekend in the country with the very famous actress Desiree Armfeldt. Desiree is trying to court Anne's husband, and so as a piece of advice to Anne, I tell her that a weekend in the country can be delightful if it's planned. Wear your hair down and a flower, don't use makeup, dress in white. She'll grow older by the hour and be hopelessly shattered by Saturday night.
My favorite line in this piece is probably what feels like the central point of the whole piece to me, is the line that Desiree says, "It's a coherent existence after so many years of muddle," which just is like, it just ties up everything that Sondheim thinks about how complicated life is, and as much as you think it's going to be this simple thing, it never turns out exactly how you planned it.
So I think that Charlotte has a lot of my favorite lines in the show, but I'm going to choose my favorite line that I say is when she's speaking to Frederica and she realizes that for the first time in a very long time, she's having a conversation with someone who is younger than her. And she says, "How delightful to be speaking to someone younger than myself."
My favorite line is a line of mine that she says, "Having outlived my own illusions by centuries, it would be soothing at least to pretend to share some of yours."
My favorite line in the show actually comes very close to the end. In a beautiful scene with Frederick and Desiree, these two loves that I think they've loved each other their whole lives. They've just pretty much denied it. And Frederick has come back to her once again to see her. And the sheer humanity of the line, "to flirt with rescue when one has no intention of being saved. Do try to forgive me," I think is one of the most beautiful, one of the most poetic, one of the most human and humane lines. He's trying to hold on for where he is now, even though his heart is telling him everything but.
Some of the lines go by so quickly, but I think one of my favorite exchanges is between Desiree and Charlotte when I say, "Countess Malcolm, I presume," and Charlotte replies, "You do indeed, Miss Armfeldt."